Killing Floor 2. Clock in, load up, and get yourself an umbrella, because you're in the fucking splash zone. Made by Tripwire Interactive, an indie dev and publisher, Killing Floor isn't exactly unique in its premise, but it does have an interesting spin on the usual zombie shooter idea. Fundamentally, it's a co-op wave shooter with fundamental shooting mechanics and a boss fight at the end. If you don't like zombie shooters or repetitive gameplay loops, this game isn't for you. Story? What the fuck is a story? Is it like an STD? Is it STD? No? It's like a deep sea squid? That sounds weird. Well, what the fuck is a story? There is some kind of overarching plot that can be seen in the level design, and there is lore that explains how all this occurred, but fucked if I know where this all came from. To put it simply, you're shooting genetic abominations in the face with weapons old, new, science fiction, and fantastical. Why the fuck do you need a story? Each match you drop into will go for 4 to 10 waves depending on what you've selected, which will affect how much cash you earn and what time certain enemies show up. At the end of each wave you'll have 1 minute to do any preparation or buy whatever equipment you need. After the final wave is a boss wave where you'll fight one of the 5 bosses. Each boss has different attack patterns, support Zeds and weapons, and you'll learn this as you play along. It's a simple cycle, but why fuck up something that's fun by overcomplicating it? You can't have war crimes without using something to kill the horde. Killing Floor has got something for everyone. From your bog standard Desert Eagle, Tommy gun M16, to what I like to call the Boop and Snoop, a railgun, and a nanobot thrower that kills Zeds and heals allies. I'm like 90% certain that violates the Geneva Convention. I don't think Horzine signed it though. There's also a bunch of melee weapons, like the Mason Shield combo and some really fun guns I'll let you discover. There's just over 80 weapons in total, not including paid DLC. Personally, my favourite weapon is the M32 rotary grenade launcher, because the grenades address to who it may concern, but a 6-shot revolver is in case they didn't get the message the first time. Looking at you, Japan! Killing Floor 2 uses a projectile based system rather than the hit scan method that you see in most arcade shooters like COD and Halo. It also has a tracer round system I really like, because every gun has a unique recoil pattern. Having tracer rounds show your point of impact makes loading these patterns much easier. Especially if you're like me and have difficulty focusing on certain colours. For me, that colour is red, which really sucks because almost no games allow you to adjust sight colour. Having different recoil patterns and handling really makes these guns feel unique and fun to experiment with. The tracer mechanic is also beneficial when shooting from the hip. Well, actually you're shooting from the shoulder, but that's a rant for another day, okay? Hip fire is accurate enough that you can use it effectively in close range, and at longer ranges there's enough deviation to miss headshots, but you can still hit centre of mass. And the tracer rounds allow you to practice this skill. There's a decent level of skill in learning how each gun behaves, which situation it's best in, and what combinations work well together, since you can have multiple guns at one time. As a slight note, the weapon animations are really close to accurate. They actually use the bolt release in the Scar, and the bolt actually locks back on the Thompson. So many games fuck up blowback guns, and this is just beautiful to me. The animations aren't always accurate though. There are some idle reload animations where the bolt is pulled back far enough it would actually eject around, but it's only little tiny things like that. If you choose perks that increase weapon reload speed, there's actually a whole new animation, rather than just speeding up the reload. As you slaughter Zeds, it will paint the room red with their blood, and it stays there the entire match. Walking down a hallway that's 100% blood red due to your destruction is just so goddamn satisfying. I'll move on, I just really love the attention to detail in this game. There's 10 classes in total that you level up as you play the game, gaining you various benefits to your character or your equipment. Each class has a role to take that specialises in how it fights and what enemies it excels at killing. I'm going to use the K-mando class as an example. As you level up, you gain bonuses to your weapon damage, reload speed, slow motion time, and how far you see health bars and invisible enemies. Every 5 levels you choose a perk for the K-mando class. Do you want larger magazines or more damage, more health or more ammo? The K-mando class uses your standard assault rifles, well, since 85 assault banned, but again, that's another rant for another day. They were called battle rifles originally. Anyway, their versatile weapons are great against the weak and mid-tier enemies, but struggle against the flesh pounds and strakes, which have a large health pool and deal lots of damage. Hopefully you've got the idea behind classes. The first 10 to 15 levels progress at a decent pace, but the later levels feel really grindy, which makes sense because the high levels are supposed to be used at the higher difficulties, where you need to understand enemy movement and the best strategies to beat them. This grind is there to prepare you for that higher tier. This is a good time to talk about difficulty. So other games just make the zombies a bit more bullet spongy, and that's the difficulty curve. Killing Floor 2 does it much better. There's 4 difficulties: normal, hard, suicidal, and hell on earth. The difference between normal and hard is there's more Zeds per wave, you earn less money per kill, and they hit harder. The difference between hard and suicidal is different again. The same rules still apply, but the AI drastically changes. Zeds will start having secondary attacks, start running. For the stealth Zeds and Clouts, start moving erratically, making it harder for you to hit them in the head. The Husk, for example, will use a flamethrower when you get close instead of just the fireball launcher it uses in the lower difficulties, and that fireball launcher is quite easy to dodge. There are also elite variants of enemies that will spawn. The Spider Thing's elite will actually explode into gas once it's killed, and the standard Zeds will get an elite that wears armor and will buff its allies if not killed quickly. The additional difficulty comes from new Zed behaviour instead of "Oh duh, gun don't work so good." I guess I'll put it here because it's just a long sentence. The graphics in this game are great. Like, if you're going to complain that's ugly, then you're a fucking lobotomite. I've only had one game breaking bug during my 140 hours, and this was to do with switching weapons while welding. I really love this game. I've played just as many hours solo as I have with my friends, and it's got a great fucking soundtrack. If you enjoy games like Left 4 Dead or Call of Duty Zombies, you're going to enjoy this. If you don't, you won't enjoy this. The gunplay in this is great, the enemies are interesting and a good challenge. For those of you who want a more traditional COD Zombies experience, there is an unlimited wave mode. Tripwire Interactive is still updating the game. They just released a new event that brought with it 2 new free weapons and 2 new paid DLC weapons, as well as adding an objective game mode recently, a few months ago. The game is definitely worth your money, but don't expect it to be more than it is, a zombie wave shooter.